What's good, everybody? Is when I come back at you another video. So this video I wanted to highlight the importance of achieving mastery in any area of your life, right? When it comes to mastery, it's all about finding something that you're passionate about, finding your gift, finding your purpose, and pretty much honing in on that, honing in on one industry or one activity, whatever it is that you truly enjoy, because we need to understand and remember is this, that money follows mastery, right? Being more mastering something is basically putting in your 10,000 hours, right? Because there's a rule called the 10,000 hour rule. This belief that in order for you to be an expert or to be the best at something, for something to pretty much come easy and effortless to you, it requires you to put in 10,000 hours at that one thing, right? And that is effectively how you become a quote unquote master at it, right? And that's how you develop mastery. And when you develop mastery as something, that is when the money follows, because you need to remember that money is not the cause, it is the effect. Money is the effect of you being the best at something. Now, we can give an example, right? A doctor, doesn't matter what surgery the doctor performs, but a doctor, some sort of specialist, right? Money flows easier and quicker to a doctor that specializes in something. Let's just say the doctor does like vision surgery, whatever, right? The doctor who's been doing like the vision surgery to help people improve their eyesight, a doctor who's been doing that for 20, 30, 40 years is going to get more clients than a doctor who just started out. One, because a doctor who just started out is likely relatively unknown, right? And two, most people are more comfortable with, if you could choose between getting, eye surgery done, like if you want to improve your vision, if you need to go get that surgery done, and you have the option between choosing a doctor who's just starting off and is his first couple times doing the surgery, or going to a specialist who's been doing the surgeries, who's done the surgery thousands of times over 30 years, even if it costs slightly more for the experienced doctor, most people are going to choose the experienced doctor, right? Because that person having all this experience, they've seen what there is to see. Like, people have much more comfort with this doctor because this doctor probably knows more than the new doctor that's starting off, right? Because they've done so many of these surgeries, they've seen so many patients, right? They've pretty much seen almost all there is to see, right? So nothing is, at this point, is probably nothing that comes at us as a surprise to this doctor, right? And that's what you need to understand. And this is for all areas of life, right? The musicians who make the best music, who can sing the best, right? You have your Beyoncé's and your Rihanna's and your Taylor Swift's, right? Like, these are people that write phenomenal music that can also perform it well that the average person can't do. This is why they're seen as the best, right? Another example, athletes, right? The athletes that get paid the big bucks, the tens of millions, the hundreds of millions of dollars, they get paid that much because they are the best in the world at the sport that they play. It's not that these athletes were actively chasing money. No, they were actively chasing improvement in the sport because they love the sport, because they showed up each and every day to get better, and they find ways to get better, and they can do things that the average person can't, right? And the average person can train for many years and decades, and they probably still won't catch up to the professional athlete, because these professional athletes started when they were children, right? When they were 2, 3, 4, 5 years old playing the sport. So these athletes, they get paid the big bucks because of their mastery at the sport. It's not because they're chasing money, right? So you need to understand that money is the effect. Money is the effect of you striving to be the best and working to bring out the best version of yourself, right? Working to be the best at something, right? In this lifetime, strive to be the best at something, right? Show up each and every day and work towards that, right? And sometimes in order to be the best, you just have to constantly just expose yourself, right? If you want to be the best in the YouTube space and creating content, right? It's a matter of you creating content each and every day, or as often as possible, right? Going through the motions, right? If you want to be good at a sport, is playing the sport. If you want to be good at an instrument, playing the instrument. If you want to be, you know, the best salesperson, it's about, of course, learning, like reading sales books and learning from other great salesmen, but also going into the field and actually getting in front of people, right? The more you do something, the better you get at it, right? Because you get more experience. Um, and yeah, you effectively have gone through more situations. You've learned how to react and respond, right? Like salespeople can address client questions so easy and effortless because they've heard it a million times, so they know their go-to response for it, right? It's the same idea here. Money follows mastery, because if you master something, it's basically that you're seen as the expert because you've put in so much time, you've put in your 10,000 hours, and most people won't, right? And if you become an expert in a given industry, right, then you can make a name for yourself. So if people ever looking for someone in this industry, right, to either work with or to hire or something, you will likely be one of the first names to come up because of the time that you've put into the space, right? So I know there's people out there who are experiencing, financial hardship and you know, want to learn about how finances work and want to progress in life. And I'm here to tell you that you can push forward by achieving mastery in something, right? My recommendation is that you strive to achieve mastery in personal development, because what you need to remember is there's no downside to personal development, because all it is you learning about yourself, learning about the world around you, and you growing, you getting better, you showing up as the 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 version, right? And there's no end to it. You can always get better. You can always make adjustments. You can always make fine tunes to yourself, right? You can always think differently. And the reason why personal development never ends is because there's always going to be another example about someone or something that you can learn from. There's always going to be a new level for yourself that you can unlock, right? There's always going to be something that you can go after. There's always going to be an area of yourself and your life that you can improve. And it just never ends, right? And people always need this, because there's always going to be people who want to understand themselves, who want to understand the world, who want to better themselves, because at the end of the day, everyone is always chasing happiness. And it's a lot easier for you to achieve happiness if you begin learning about yourself, understanding yourself, to build up your own confidence, your worthiness, your deservingness, right? And to adjust the erroneous beliefs or the false beliefs, the limiting beliefs that you may have had about yourself, right? A lot of people have these negative beliefs about themselves that they just may not have been aware that they've had it, or they've been aware that they had it, but they don't change it because their belief created the fact, right? Like they think that they think that their belief is true, because when they think their belief, they see all the evidence showing it that it's true. But you need to understand is it's the belief itself that creates the fact, not the other way around, right? So if you change that belief that you have about yourself, if it's a limiting belief, a negative belief, faulty belief, right? If you change that belief you have of yourself and turn into something positive, then you will begin to see the positive evidence reinforcing that belief, right? So you just want to strive to be the best at anything. It can be anything, right? It can truly be anything. It can truly be something you enjoy, something that you're passionate about, something that you're gifted, that you do better than anyone else, right? Any of these things you can strive to find mastery in. But if you're just looking for, if you don't have anything that comes to mind, right, and you just need something, I recommend you begin with the personal development space, because as you continue growing and learning about yourself and bring out the best version of yourself, right, then at the same time you'll begin understanding other people, because you'll realize that other people are no different than you, right? Because we're all human beings. So if you strive to be the best version of yourself, then you also give other people permission to do the same. But you are most happy if you're able to constantly get better, right? You're going to be most happy with the person that you've become, right? Because I understand us in this lifetime, we want to chase the material things, but what's truly important in his life that you'll be happy about is the person that you've become, the person you've grown into, right? And just becoming the best at anything you'll essentially become valuable. You'll be seen as valuable to society, because then someone can't just go down the street and find someone that's going to replace you. To find someone that knows what you know at the level that you know it at, right? Like, that is the whole concept. That's the idea, right? To make yourself effectively a specialist in anything, right? Like, people can be doctors and be general doctors, but then you also have your specialized doctors that's focused on one area of the body, right? The same idea with you. You want to, when you follow mastery, right, or strive to master anything, right, you essentially is effectively you become a specialist in any one or few industries, right? So then when people are looking for someone in the industry, you'll be the one to stand out, right? You'll be the go-to person, and then at that point, right, you can charge the prices that you want to charge, because if you do it the best and you know no one else can, you know, can do things the way you do things, right? That you can, and no one else can assist clients or provide the level of value that you can provide. You can now charge the price that you want to charge, that you feel are worth your time, right? That is the difference right there. But if someone doesn't ever get good at anything, then they're just going to blend in with everyone else. They're just going to be seen as a normal person. They're going to be seen as the average person. And so someone's going to look at you and say, well, why would I do business with you when I can do business with this other person, right? If you're an expert, if you're a specialist, if you've mastered something, then there's going to be, by default, there's going to be very few people who are like you, who can do what you do. And so you're now able to charge the prices that you want to charge, right? So this is what I mean when I say money follows mastery. Of course, I shared it with the other examples of like athletes, artists, musicians, whatever it is, and even specialized doctors and whatnot. But it's just the general idea that money follows mastery, that you become the best at something and people are willing, like money will flow to you because people are willing to do business with you, because people are always actively seeking the best. In all areas of their life, people want the best. People want the best that they can at the price point that they can afford, right? That is what everyone is always looking for the best. So you just strive to be the best, and by default, if you're the best at anything, then by default, right, people are going to want to do business with you, because they're going to be people that's interested in what you're interested, or may want to hire you to do whatever it is that you do for them, right? It just helps solve their problem, to improve the quality of their life, et cetera, et cetera. So just remember that if the earlier part of your life, right, you've had some financial hardships, right, then maybe it's time for you to lock in and find something that you enjoy, that makes you happy, and strive to be the best at it. Now, it's not gonna happen overnight, right? And it doesn't mean drop everything to like just do that. But if you find something and you work towards it each and every day, then compounding will eventually take effect, right? You would have done something for so long that you'll inevitably get good at it, because you're so used to doing it, right? It becomes muscle memory. And there's a saying that the master, right, there's a student and there's a master, right? And the master is simply just a student who decided not to quit, right? The master is just a student who decided to show up each and every day until they eventually became the master at whatever given subject, right? So that's the same idea with you. Just show up each and every day as a student, eager to learn, eager to experience something new, and then in due time, right, eventually you'll become the master at whatever subject you're working on. And by then, right, money, which is the effect, right, will eventually begin flowing into your life, because you will quickly become irreplaceable. So that wraps up the video. Enjoy the video. Do leave a like and subscribe, as we're on the road to a million subscriber, guys. So once again, it's Joel, and I'm out. I'll see you guys for the next video.